Salutations and greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Also, buenos dias to those of you who personally self-identify as something else. It is an honor to speak with you here today. Welcome to my channel and my first video in a series I've titled Common Sense, as I believe we could all use a little bit more sense in both of the meanings. I'm here to fight the good fight, a power conflict waged against the ignorant liberals, the complacent conservatives, and against the puppeteering and treatment of the populace as undead, dementia-riddled robot zombies. Also a monetary conflict against the scammers, the cheaters, the Charles Ponzi impersonators walking around soaking up capital like it grows on a tree, and finally, those that in the light of God commit usury and do so claim to still be in the money. Here is my 2 cents. As my screen name is Capitalist Patriot, you would think those would be 2 words people ascribe to me. Well, here's what I'll say to that. I'm a capitalist and hopefully so are you. The free market is steeped like a fine tea in self-determination. Individuals make the economic decisions, not some overreaching government employee in an inefficient, bigoted bureaucratic agency established by a bloated, ignorant administration. This soak in self-determination, so to speak, provides the producers and the consumers alike with the individual liberties necessary not just for our society, but all societies around the globe. Without free trade, both within the United States borders and with nations abroad, your God-given freedom would lessen. This is assured. The meticulous functionality and mysterious inner machinations of the world's capitalistic, though admittedly more accurately classified as mixed economies, is a true beauty to behold. Hopefully, you support capitalism. Hopefully, you are a capitalist, a free trader, a free tradesman practicing your craft of capitalism. Earlier this year, 2023, I started my own business so that I might pursue this trade, this art of being a capitalist. I can't say it's gone perfectly, but as of February 4th, 2023, I am the proud owner and proprietor of my very own small LLC. A buyer and seller of auctioned-off surplus merchandise. In my own personal value set, in my occupation, and in my conscience, I am a capitalist, through and through. Well, what of your patriotism? You identify as a capitalist. What is so patriotic about you to make you a patriot, asks the naysayers. Now, I've always seen myself as patriotic, but am I truly a patriot? Is my patriotism enough to consider myself a patriot? The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines patriot as one who loves and supports his or her country. For all I have supported my country, I have not done enough. For all the love I have put into my country, it still isn't enough. My whiskey flask had an American flag proudly wrapping its exterior. Many of my pieces that I, in the past, used to legally consume cannabis were emblazoned with the colors red, white, and blue. States' rights. They had such names as the American Dream, Lady Liberty, and American Exceptionalism. I love the ease of access to capital in America, not just for the sake of starting your own business, but ease of access to capital for consumer purchases. I make use of this access to capital on a near daily basis with my credit cards. Gotta love that sweet, sweet cash back. Also, the loan I received for my car, and if God wills it, I'll hopefully be approved for a small business loan to kickstart my previously mentioned company. I love spending some of my summer up near Marblehead, Ohio, at a little Chautauqua on the shores of Lake Erie called Lakeside. There's a little restaurant off of Walnut Avenue called The Patio that sells far and away the best ice cream of all time in my humble opinion. Buckeye Bites from Toft's Dairy, Ohio's oldest dairy, open since 1900, located only 14 miles from Lakeside on the outer edge of the good town Sandusky. These places, this ice cream, reminds me that not just small-town America in its purest, most genuine essence remains, but it reminds me that the American dream is still alive, and anyone with eyes to see with, and the drive to go, can travel to these bastions of American exceptionalism and see for themselves the Gloria. I enjoy a good backyard barbecue, not just with the fireworks that light up the sky on Independence Day, our 4th of July, but I enjoy grilling out with friends, grabbing a 6-pack of Red's Apple Ale, I admittedly have a gluten freedom problem, and starting a big old fire to warm my friends and I. I have a dream that I'll be able to afford a work truck to help with my small business and for the personal pleasure of driving the thing. And in America, personal pleasure is reason enough to own a big old truck, and that is a thing of such beauty. I have a dream that there will be no more discrimination against people based on their sexual orientation, identification, race, creed, nationality, political affiliation, socioeconomic status, or whether or not you happen to be part of a special secret little club. And that we might truly achieve, at the very least, equality under the eyes of the law. This applies to discrimination against both Democrats and discrimination against Republicans. Both sides are subject to this bigotry and orchestrated hate against each other. This great vein of injustices stem in my eyes from societal ignorance, the root of it being a lack of communication and a lack of understanding between a house divided. Why would I feel the need to make informative content for the poor, scared, and ignorant masses? Asks an awestruck SJW LGBTQA+ liberal, triggered by the size of the social box he, she, or in many cases they were put into by the people that they themselves voted into office. What information does your content add that the likes of Alex Jones, Ben Shapiro, or any of the various circus members at Fox News don't contribute on a daily basis? Interjects an ultra-MAGA conservative, convinced that the right is indeed right and that their God Emperor Donald J. Trump will save the country from a band of deeply entrenched, power-addict, pedophile, hebephiles, and ephebophiles. Well, to this I say the quote, "If we are to guard against ignorance and remain free, it is the responsibility of every American to be informed." Thomas Jefferson. I see, I feel, I experience the ignorance of the Americans on a daily basis from both sides of the aisle. Democrats, Republicans, Christians, atheists, all alike. All are ilk. They seem to have a dangerous ignorance about them as of late. I say similar things when I speak to the lack of freedom in our country nowadays. You can feel the absence of freedom in the air, replaced by a disgusting pressure, a dripping, dirty, squishy feeling, a feeling of subjugation. Yet every breath you take still has the cost of free. I hear a change in the people's voices, in the voices of the public at large. Originally, you could hear the ringing of freedom in the individual and the beautiful roar from the masses starting in the 1920s. These distinct sounds and truths were in every man, woman, and child's voice. Now I hear broken, raw tones coming from the subjugated peoples under this, a lawless, godless, morally bankrupt series of regimes starting in earnest after the year 2000. These regimes are hell-bent on an unwinnable war against a concept, dangerous as that concept might be, terrorism. There is still hope. Those with good ears can still hear the roar and the ringing of the people, especially in the children, our nation's children. Let freedom ring. Then I think of the quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," John Fitzgerald Kennedy. If I myself am able to explain this ignorance and assess why it occurs, and in my own words make sense of it, then I think I could, possibly, at the very least, help stem the bleeding and work towards a cure. I am not egomaniacal, I am not perfect, thus I don't expect my words and my meaning to resonate with the totality of the populace. But I do hope I can strike a chord with those that listen to my words and watch my videos. I hope that some ignorance might be lifted with my information, and that my content will bring a fresh middle ground stances on issues. I do so hope to help light the signal fire of liberty in the great lighthouse of knowledge, to guide the captains of the metaphorical ships on the choppy seas of burdensome duty to the safer shores of freedom. In that action, I hope to provide the knowledge necessary for liberty and, in truth, necessary for freedom. And now a poem. The new Colossus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome, her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your story's pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Emma Lazarus. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. Revelations 3:7. She carries the torch, the flames of liberty that might be lit and lit again. She is the lighthouse, her ever-vigilant eyes watching over those vagabonds in need. The great beacon, the great light shining from her, does so guide the humble to liberty and spread knowledge of a safer shore. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. Revelation 3:20. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it, for thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. Revelation 3:8. Thus is an excerpt from the story of the lady whom sought out liberty for her and her people, America the Beautiful, or simply Lady Liberty. A beautiful metaphor, a beautiful truth. And now, as those long dead and duly honored patriots have said before me, one of the great American truths, I say this here today: give me freedom or give me death. Hell, if you can't give me true freedom, give it to those in bond, those desperate, in anguish and in persecution, those humbled, tortured souls that seek refuge at the feet of the lady herself, formed in statue on Liberty Island. The most important of my personal patriotic traits is that I pledge my allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the most beautiful undying republic for which it stands. I believe that we are truly one nation under God, still. I believe that I can help enact the change I want to see in our society and our culture. I believe it is time for me to step forward and become a true patriot. One who will fight for my country, my way of life, and my strong moral compass. Thus is my pledge. Thus is my dedication to the cause, the just and righteous fight for truth and liberty, and in pursuing those things finding, hopefully, the very bedrock of our nation itself. Freedom. Starting this week with this very video, continuing onwards until the ignorance of God is lifted, I will fight the good fight with my voice powerful and raw. Thus is my most important liberty, and is one of the first freedoms bestowed upon any and all citizens of our most free nation, whether natural or naturalized, by the Constitution through the Bill of Rights. The freedom of speech. Using this freedom, I will so endeavor to explain what my now colleagues in the news struggle have failed to do. I will so endeavor to inform the people of what I see personally going on. Information that may aid in the fight against the miasma of ignorance. With a little luck and Lady Liberty at my side, I may yet succeed. Thank you. In God we trust. and God bless America.